Tonight on Debate Amongst Friends, we'll be discussing some NBA news, including Stephen A. pouting about Melo's ranking on the Slam's top 50 list. NFL Week 6 recap, including the Bills putting a cap on Kaepernick, the future of the Cowboys, and the decline of the Packers, as well as a little WWE action, including the return of Goldberg, starting now.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen of the interweb. Welcome to Debates Among Friends, live on Mixlr. Like us on our Facebook page at Debates Among Friends, and our Twitter at Debates Among Friends as well too. Tonight is the 24th edition of this podcast. I am known as the Professor John Gotti, and always by my side, ready to drop some prescription knowledge, it is the Dr. Danny Ocean. How you doing tonight, sir? Alright, let's get straight to it, sir. The NFL Week 6 finally finished. A lot of moves are happening now. We have a new quarterback out in Buffalo. Not Buffalo, in New York. Wow, I said Buffalo. In New York. It's the same state, that's why.
Of course.
Ryan Fitzpatrick is sitting, and Geno Smith is starting. What was your initial thoughts on that?
I mean, it's really about time. I mean, I don't really know what took them so long to pull the plug on this guy. I had a chance to speak with my dad, who was a pretty big Jets fan, and the one thing he said was, why even start him out there? Kind of didn't make any sense to actually start him because he wasn't ready to actually play as a Jet, being that he held out all that time. So I don't know why they didn't go with Geno from the start. What do you think about it? I mean, what did you think when you first heard it?
I mean, first of all, it's about time, as you said. Secondly, I mean, was it really anything too surprising, though? It's interesting because some of the analysts on NFL Live today were just saying, I mean, Ryan Fitzpatrick is just like that. He sometimes comes through as a spark, and other times he just becomes a thud. And it just so happened that this year, after having a marvelous season last year, being one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the league, I'm pretty sure people will definitely have something to say about that. But according to the stats, you know, he was pretty efficient, scoring 2 touchdowns a game for every single game last year. You know, for him to lay this sort of egg, is it that surprising? Well, Professor John Gotti doesn't really think so. Like, it's just Ryan Fitzpatrick being Ryan Fitzpatrick.
But can we also say that this Jets defense isn't where I would have expected it to be? Not just with the return of Revis, but with them bringing in a defensive-specific coach. It seems like these days, defensive-specific coaches aren't... Actually, to be honest with you, I've noticed that any specific coach, actually, but I would say defenses more often aren't as successful in the league as like a regular overall general game manager.
Or offensive-minded game manager as well, too.
So I can't say that. That's the reason why I kind of had to flip-flop, because you have somebody like Mike McCoy out in San Diego, who was an offensive-minded guy. He came from Green Bay.
He did.
And he was very successful in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers, obviously. And you would have thought, hey, they've got Phillip Rivers. I think, you know, if anybody can questionably be close to Aaron Rodgers, it would be Phillip Rivers. Always been a great big talent, but that's just not happening.
Yeah, but Phillip Rivers is old though. I mean, I'm not saying that he can't play, but at the same time, he's much older. Maybe it was 5 years ago. You know, you can definitely make that claim. But Phillip Rivers is like the most people remember him by is either A, he was the person who got traded because of Eli, or B, he's the guy who tore his ACL and kept on playing.
Well, here's where I'll have to disagree with you, sir.
Alright.
Phillip Rivers is only 2 years older than Aaron Rodgers.
But how many years in the league? Like, you can't use age in the equation, though.
But you also got to keep in mind that Aaron Rodgers, if anything, Aaron Rodgers didn't play a lot. So, I mean, the years wouldn't really matter because Aaron Rodgers didn't play all those years. And, Phillip Rivers had more. If he did play those years, that means he would have more experience. So, although it's those 2 years, I mean, the experience factor, I mean, Phillip ultimately could be better. I just don't think he's ever had the weapons. And once they let LT walk, that's really been the decline of the San Diego Chargers, honestly.
Absolutely. Because they have, what's his name, who's now with the Eagles.
Sproles.
Which they had Sproles too, but I was thinking of the other running back that they had. Wow, that's hilarious.
Oh, you're talking about, wow, what is his name? I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's
Yeah,
Matthews.
Ryan Matthews.
There it is. I was like, is there a Ryan Matthews that's in another team as well too? I just didn't want to get it wrong.
No, I think there is close to that. But Ryan Matthews was no LT.
That's what I'm saying, though.
They should have never let go of Sproles, if anything.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and Danny Woodhead's been a beast, at least for fantasy. But
I think that's probably why they let Sproles go, is because they had Danny Woodhead. But imagine if they had Danny Woodhead, who's often injury prone, and Sproles, who's been pretty significantly reliable. Yeah. I mean, they would have been in a much better place.
Absolutely. But, we don't sit here and wonder about the what ifs of the past. We deal about the what ifs of the future. Here at It's Among Friends, sponsored by Stella Artois.
Speaking of the future, speaking of the future, I'm curious to know what the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to do in the near future with their star quarterback out for a couple of weeks here with an injury.
Yes, he won't be back till late in the season. If they somehow manage to make it to the postseason.
I spoke to one. I spoke to one Steelers fan at my job who said somebody's going to get fired.
Absolutely.
She said, this was a she. She said, I don't know if it's going to be Mike Tomlin or whoever our defensive coordinator is, but someone is going to get fired.
That's interesting because normally when you think of star quarterback goes down and then the team does terrible, you usually think of the offensive coordinator or the head coach getting fired. But it's rather peculiar that she decided to say maybe even the defensive coordinator. Now, I actually completely agree. I think the defensive coordinator should definitely be let go than, be wish luck on his future endeavors. But
I guess it's just the fact that the Dolphins of all teams scored 30 points.
Well, not just that, but they got spanked twice.
This is true. The Chiefs is more real. The Chiefs is more realistic.
No.
The Eagles. I'm sorry.
Wait a minute.
Eagles. The Eagles are more realistic.
Oh my gosh.
You had a rookie that was playing very well. They have a pretty significantly talented team. Against that 3-4 defense, they really, really laid into them.
Absolutely.
But the Dolphins, that's pretty questionable.
It's always questionable.
It's pretty questionable because Tannehill is really, really not a great quarterback. I'll say it lightly. He's not a great quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, he's low, mid-tier if you had to put him in a tier list.
Absolutely.
He's not middle of the pack because he hasn't done anything significantly, but he's not in the lower echelons of it where he's a complete scrub.
Yeah, I'll definitely say maybe third tier quarterbacks. Definitely third tier.
Well, I mean, How many tiers are we talking altogether, though? Are we talking 4 tiers altogether? 5 tiers?
Probably 4, and he's pushing that 3rd tier. Probably about at the bottom.
Sorry for the bottom now here.
No, he's never going to be here. But I mean, it was a lot of pretty solid football, including a astonishing finish where we saw the NFC champs from last year, the Carolina Panthers, lose another close one
in a heartbreaker.
And I mean, they really rallied to come back. I mean, they scored 21 points in the 4th quarter. I mean,
to go we made the same claim off the podcast and a little bit on the podcast last week when we was talking about, the Chargers and whether or not the head coach is going to get fired from it. And I stated, but they're making it competitive. They're losing these close ones. They're losing these heartbreakers. Like, can you make the same claim with this team as well, too? Because that was a heartbreaker.
It's different. I don't think Ron Rivera's job is in jeopardy in any way. Obviously, they had injuries to Cam. They had some injuries to the running backs. I think their offense is getting kind of stale, so to speak. I mean, I know they scored 38 points, but I mean, it's kind of like, all right.
There's nothing there that's necessarily wowing or anything that's like a game changer.
It's not new. It's like, all right, we expect them to run the option.
Yep.
But it's like Cam is now taking a pounding.
Well, I mean, that's because the offensive line is just so fragmented, though.
Well, I mean, a lot of the times the pounding that he's taking is because of his own fault. I mean, the way he runs. Excuse me. The way he runs is, although it is football and you expect it to be hard nosed. I mean, they come up and they come up and try to hurt him. Really, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't think he's in jeopardy of losing his job, though. I think, if anything, there are several coaches that I think are in jeopardy of losing their job. I don't think he's one of them. Obviously, Mike McCoy is one of them. I would assume that Bill O'Brien out in Houston is probably on the cusp. If he was right now, they have a 4-2 record, but if they can't get to the playoffs and beyond, he might be out. Chuck Pagano could be on his way out.
Which is kind of weird because it's like their team isn't bad.
The Colts are
playing bad.
But that's the type of team that if you're saying that the talent is good, but they're not executing, that's where it's on the head coach.
It is. I mean, granted, we can get more micro about it and say it's also the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, quarterback coach, running back coach, wide receiver coaches.
But these are all people that the head coach brings in.
Exactly. What I'm saying is just a clean slate for the Indianapolis Colts.
So it's time. It's definitely time for them to move on. I think they wanted to get rid of him last year.
I thought you were going to say Vader time for a second.
No. They wanted to get rid of him last year, but I think they held on to him because the whole illness thing.
Yep.
But it might be just time to move on to somebody different. I'm interested to see what the Bears are going to do. You know what I mean? Because the Bears haven't been too good.
Yeah,
so
but the Bears hasn't been that good for years, though. Like
but you bring
minus 1 or 2 seasons where they made to the NFC North Championship.
Mm-hmm.
But then Chicago. I mean, they turned into what happened to Derrick Rose one season when he collapsed and he was clutching his knee, and the entire audience was screaming, "Oh no!" Because Jay Cutler would do something completely asinine. I'm doing Stephen A. Smith, and this is foreshadowing. Jay Cutler decided to do something asinine, like throw it into quadruple coverage, and throws a pick, and he looks like Eli Manning. Like, what happened? He should have caught it. That's blasphemous.
I mean, I understand what you're saying here. I think the one thing you also got to keep in mind now is that I think Jay Cutler is hurt.
Hurt. But if he's hurt, then why are they still letting him play? Like,
he's not playing.
I thought
he's not playing. No, he's not playing. He's definitely out right now. He hasn't played. I want to say maybe a week or two. Brian Hoyer is actually starting right now.
See, that just shows how much I pay attention to the Bears. Shout out to my Bears fans out there.
Yeah, he's not playing. I've said this for quite some time now. I thought the Bears should have not re-signed him, parted ways with him. A couple years ago, started over, tried to bring somebody else in that could win them some games because he's not the guy.
Nope.
He's not the guy. Speaking of the guy, Odell Beckham Jr.
Congratulations to Odell Beckham Jr. and his future marriage to the Kitchenette.
But let me tell you though why this was significant. This was significant because Jimmy Smith of the Baltimore Ravens said, "I will lock down Odell Beckham Jr." Odell Beckham Jr. came up and said, "Oh, you gonna lock me down? Perfect. I like it. I like it a lot."
Yeah, but he should be like that every week.
And I agree. I guess this is when...
Like, you shouldn't need someone to put a fire underneath you in order for you to play well. Right?
But I guess this is one of those situations where he was having fun.
The silence was intentional, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, is this one of those situations where he's having fun?
Ooh.
Like, let's do it, Bobby.
I'm ready, friend.
Let's have some fun.
But seriously, though, like, that's not fun. That's you trying to prove your bravado to the world because someone decides to open up their mouths, which he shouldn't have done, by the way.
Right.
He decides to open up his mouth and say that I can shut down Odell because Odell had a couple of bad weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Which
most of those bad weeks were really from double and quadruple coverage.
I mean, Xavier Rhodes looked like a freaking Pro Bowler.
But I'm sure he had coverage over top a lot of times.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So
some of them, yeah.
Yeah, some of them, yeah.
But I'm just like, you have to have that tenacity, that killer instinct every week. Because this is football. Like, it's the same thing with basketball. Like, if you don't have that killer instinct, you're not going to win. You might win a game or two, but we're talking about championships. You're not going to win it without that tenacity. Without that,
it's true.
I want to score on you, and I want to crush your spirit.
I agree, and I mean, again, speaking of crushed spirits, how about the Buffalo Bills
He went there.
Putting a cap on Colin Kaepernick?
Yeah.
I mean,
the world was waiting for this to happen for 5 weeks.
Well, let me tell you this.
And on the 6th week, the 49ers have decreed on us Colin Kaepernick to start against the Buffalo Bills.
Let me tell you something, brother. So I was out there in the land of Texas with you, Professor John Gotti.
He was.
And I didn't watch this game. When I saw or read a highlight, it said Colin Kaepernick finds Torrey Smith.
Torrey Smith.
Torrey Smith on a long bomb. And that was the only highlight I saw. So my whole conception of that game was wrapped around that one highlight. So I was talking to a San Francisco 49er fan at my job, and I said, how about those 49ers, huh? Without looking at the final score, which was 45-16. And I said, oh God. Oh my God. Oh my God. And I said, they'll get better.
See, not only can the people out there know that you're lying, but I know that you're lying.
I mean, they obviously will have to get better. Blaine Gabbert's not good. Can we just say that? Blaine Gabbert is not good.
Blaine Gabbert, unfortunately, had to suffer through 5 weeks.
He did. A beating of an offense that he can't run.
He can't run the offense. They nothing clicked. Like from start to finish, it just didn't click. He had so many turnovers. Actually, Ryan Fitzpatrick has more turnovers than him.
Absolutely. Well, Ryan Fitzpatrick plays.
I think he has 14 picks to 5
Oh,
TDs.
God. Oh my God, that's so terrible. But speaking of not being able to run an offense,
Uh-oh.
are we seeing the decline of the Green Bay Packers?
Yes.
Now, coming into the season, and I just texted one of my Packer friends. I said, bro, what in the world is going on with the Pack? I thought Eddie Lacy was going to run all over this league this year. He lost the weight. But when I saw him over the weekend, he kind of looked like he gained some of it back to me. And it wasn't just because he had the bad ankle.
I think he went to those tailgating houses and kept eating.
It wasn't one of those, hey, the camera has 15 pounds. It was legit. He looked bigger to me.
Bigger, stronger, and hey, he's no 60-minute man, my friend.
It's like bigger, slower.
Wow.
And no 60-minute. I mean, again, not taking anything away from him because he had a bum wheel, which I'm very happy the Packers went out and signed Niall Davis. Because I think that's gonna give them a punch that they can actually use.
And it was a trade, right? Do we know what all happened with the trade yet?
Let's see. I don't think I saw the details of that particular trade. But I know that the Chiefs sent Niall Davis over. Looks like they swapped some picks, as well as maybe a conditional late round pick, based on the amount of time that he's going to be playing for the Packers. Mm-hmm. So they might have just, this might have been just one of those situations where they said, hey, we'll send you over Niall Davis. You'll send us over maybe a 4th or 5th round pick. It might be 5th round pick if he plays this amount of percent, 4th round pick if he plays this amount of percent, and then that'll just be it. But Niall Davis will definitely, if he can learn the offense in a week or two, which I assume he'll probably play about 16 to 20 snaps this week. You know, they'll get him acclimated with the running and the pass protection, and they'll get him out there. But I really think that this will be good for them. They need this.
I completely agree. They need something to happen.
But speaking of needing something to happen, Cowboy fans have been needing the Cowboys to play this way for a long time.
For a very long time. And you know what, Doctor? They're finally playing like the team that these other Cowboys fans out here have been claiming.
They're playing like a team that wants it. Definitely, they're playing like a team that can actually get there. The question is, the future of the Cowboys relies heavily on not the coach, not the players, no ball boys, no trainers, no one else but Jerry Jones.
Yep. It all begins and ends with Jerry.
Jerry Plez.
Jerry Plez indeed.
So, my thing is, I mean, what happens here? Okay, so they're on the bye week, which we could see him come back and take over the starting job. Dez says, hey, I'm going to be back. I guess Dez probably saw that there were some passes that were dropped that he feels as though he could have caught.
Yes, I actually completely agree with that.
But I would say that Dak, Prescott, Zeke, and I just don't think Dez is there yet. You're getting close to an Aikman, Emmitt Smith, and Michael Irvin type of trio.
Yes.
Dez has the personality, but he just hasn't made the big plays that I would have expected.
I mean,
from him.
I remember that we had an argument before about whether or not Dez is the top 5 wide receiver in the league.
And I don't believe so. Maybe top 10, top 15, maybe.
It's hard to make the argument for it.
I mean, it's definitely it's not hard for me. Top 5, he's definitely not in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, he's not in there to me. I mean, I would challenge any wide receiver, any Cowboy fans that believe that their wide receiver is in the top 5, and give me realistic evidence and proof, not just their opinion.
We have the chat open. We have Facebook. We have Twitter. They can be free to put whatever they need to do to make their argument about whether or not Dez Bryant is a top 5 quarterback. Make sure you add stats. Make sure you add facts and things of that nature.
Absolutely, because
if
it's like,
can't do that.
Don't even bring it to the table.
Don't even bring it to the table. I mean, this is among friends. We state things based off the eye test, based off the stats. We go with dance. We look at scouting reports. We look at everything.
Yeah, so, I mean, again, I think Ezekiel Elliott, if he can stay healthy, he'll be good. But I know that I just heard the buzzer there. So that sounds like we have to move on, sir. And speaking of moving on, we have a certain NBA analyst who needs to move on from these top 50 top 50 basketball players in the NBA. There's a certain analyst on ESPN who will not remain nameless.
Shout out to my boy.
He will not remain nameless. Stephen A. Smith.
Oh, he put him out there. He put him out there. Oh, no.
Pouted a little bit because Carmelo Anthony was listed at number 15 on the top 150 NBA players.
This was on yesterday's edition of First Take. He went on quite the rant. I did agree with some of his arguments. I do believe Blake Griffin is not better than Carmelo Anthony.
Only person I see so far outside of Blake Griffin, potentially Damian Lillard.
I can agree with that.
I think so far everybody else. I'm pretty mad that James Harden is number 7. I think he's better than Anthony Davis. In fact, I think Paul George is better than Anthony Davis as well. So I'm interested to see the rest of this list. I don't know about that. Kyle Lowry being number 21. Oh, God, these are tough ones. DeAndre Jordan being number 23 is very questionable. And if I was Stephen A., I would have got on number 23. There's no way that DeAndre Jordan is better than DeMar DeRozan in any capacity.
Exactly.
So that loses all credibility.
The article literally said that DeAndre Jordan is a vastly underrated offensive player.
What a joke. He's underrated. No. This list has overrated him as an offensive player. He's not an offensive player. He's no horseman, my friend.
He's no horseman?
No.
Oh, no. I mean, who else on this list? I mean, Dwayne Wade is number 30.
That's because of the injuries.
You know, one of your favorite players on 2K, Mike Conley, is number 32.
Injuries again. I'm surprised Porzingis is number 37, above Dirk Nowitzki.
You know what? They're trying to say it's a passing of the torch. That's why. That's why they did that. That's a passing of the torch move right there.
They even got Chris Bosh number 46.
He didn't even play.
He doesn't. You don't even know if he can play.
You don't even know what 60 minutes is.
And I'm showing Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons says number 50.
Number 50.
But, I mean, how do you feel about that?
See, and if you scroll down a little further, you'll see last year's rankings. Anthony Davis was number 2, above Kevin Durant. So the whole credibility of this is just, because even last year Carmelo was 13, and he was behind John Wall,
who played completely lights out.
But still, Carmelo was behind John Wall and Kawhi Leonard last year, so the fact that he's number 15 this year kind of doesn't really make any sense that Stephen A. would even be complaining about it, being that he wasn't top 10 last year. Clearly, some people got better.
Well, clearly.
You know what I mean? So I don't really understand why he really went on this rant as if Carmelo got better.
I mean, would you still put LeBron James as number one?
Yes, I would keep LeBron James at number one. He probably is going to be number one. And I saw some highlights of him earlier today. I'm not going to lie. Although, again, maybe the TV, my TV in particular, is adding that real ideal 15 pounds to people. But LeBron looks bigger to me this year. But I also saw him hit some acrobatic Dirk Nowitzki-like jump shots. Looks like he worked on his jumper a little more this year. Probably not going to want to drive into the lane as much to preserve his body for the playoffs. And,
Absolutely.
he looks pretty good. I'm not going to become a LeBron maniac on this particular episode of Debate Amongst Friends.
Please don't.
But, no, I'm not going to do that. But he'll be number one. I don't see anyone taking over number one until LeBron retires or we see a serious decline, which I'm not sure if we're ever going to. I don't think LeBron's going to let us see him decline.
I actually would agree with that.
I'm still pretty mad that James Harden's number 7. I'm just not buying it.
I mean, where would you put James Harden?
I would have probably left him right up. I probably left him at 6 where he was last year. I think he's better than Chris Paul and Blake Griffin, obviously. I think the list from last year was pretty good. I don't know about Anthony Davis being number 2. I probably would have went LeBron James, KD, Stephen Curry, Westbrook, Harden, then Anthony Davis.
That's a statement.
Yeah, because, the only people that they can put up here at this particular point is you're going to see basically some variation of the same people from last year. You're going to see KD, you're going to see Stephen Curry, you're going to see Westbrook. The question is, who is the number 5 person?
Exactly.
Because the number 5 person, that's really it. Everybody else is just those 3 people that I just mentioned, KD, Curry, and Westbrook.
It's going to be Harrison Barnes, your boy.
Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. I am the doctor. This is the professor. Peace and love. Roll the credits. It's not going to be that dumb.
Wait a minute. How you calling that bum now?
No.
You were defending him so hard. It was you defending him.
It's not about defending him. We're talking about the top 5. You're going to put him in the top 5? I didn't put him in the top 5. He's a bum compared to the top 5. Talking about comparing him to freaking LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, Stephen Curry, and KD.
Oh my goodness.
Don't hold your breath. Come on. Hello?
Well,
Hello?
It's funny that you mentioned those Golden State boys because an article came out today speaking about a little diva action, a little drama, a little Draymond.
Can I ask you a question about this particular situation here? Does it seem like the irony that Steve Kerr is the head coach of this particular team? Does it remind you of a former Chicago Bulls player with his antics?
You saw about the Worm?
The Worm.
And for those out there who don't know, the Worm is Dennis Rodman.
I hope they better know. They better know.
You just got learned.
You suckers got served.
No. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for the doctor. He's feeling really sick today. I don't know why he said that.
Oh my god.
It'll never happen again.
You suckers got served again.
Alright, we're gonna cut the show early. Cut it. Steve, cut the show.
Peace and love. Roll credits. But, I think he might be giving us his best impression without the dress.
Oh gosh.
Of Dennis Rodman, without the nose ring and over-obsessive tattoos and hair color.
Oh gosh.
Could you imagine, Draymond comes out and freaking green hair, red and yellow hair, or I guess blue and gold hair?
I threw up in my mouth a little bit. I'm sorry. That was nasty.
Could
I
you
mean,
imagine?
I mean, granted, he did sort of get arrested for kind of fighting. I mean,
That's how you may end up your jaw got stole. Straight swole.
well, I mean, but then you'd be Kobe Bryant against Doug Christie.
And then there was that Chris Childs incident.
There was the Chris Child incident.
But I mean, I think Draymond. I don't know. I mean, who was Mo Spates to come out and say that though?
Someone who's feeling salty that he did win the championship last year, and that he left the team.
Where did he even go? Because I mean, don't get me wrong, he's a very, very talented player. Oh, he went to the Clippers. He's a very, very
Well, now I understand why he feels that way because he went to the Clippers.
right. Which it seems like all the old power forwards seem to be going to the Clippers. All forwards, all old forwards. Even though he's not really that old, he's only 29. And I really think if he was to take his talents to, let's say, a team like,
The
maybe
Rockets.
no, I wouldn't have said that. Although I would love him on the Rockets because of his offensive ability, but I was thinking more of a team like the 76ers that need veteran presence, although they don't need any more bigs.
I was about to say,
Rather than
that's
drafting
the
a big, they should have just,
I mean, I could see him going to like Milwaukee.
maybe a Milwaukee, maybe the Nets.
Oh god.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Maybe a team like the Lakers.
I can see that. But they got some bigs there.
Well, they need his veteran presence. He's a really, really good basketball player, and I really don't think he gets the credit he deserves. That, actually, it's funny because Spates was drafted by the 76ers. That's why it's interesting that they should have just kept him back in that particular draft and just groomed him up to where they are now. Then they wouldn't have been drafting all these power forwards. But this also came out that Marquis Spates denied saying that Draymond Green, did these to his teammates. So, I mean, it could be one of those things like you always like to say, that the media is just blowing maybe a simple statement out of proportion.
Absolutely. But once again, it's all about trying to make a story, get exposure for your brand, and building yourself up as well, too. Because if people talking about your article, which we're doing right now, that's a good thing.
It is. I mean, I hope that people talk about me talking about Princess Peach, Andrew Bogut.
Oh no, Princess Peach.
And all the other Mario brothers that we talk about, and everything that we talk about. Not just.
Now we're gonna have to find out who KD is now in the Warriors.
I mean, he could be one of those little guys that are in that little cloud, and they're like dropping the little things down, or one of those things that jump up and down, throwing those little hammers.
Hammer Bros?
We could go with a hammer. He could be one of the new. You had the Splash Brothers, and then him and one of the other guys could be the Hammer Bros. Now we could just kind of shift it around, depending on how everything goes.
I don't know. We probably need to talk about that one off the cast.
I mean, we'll have to see how they play. I mean, you'll see it. I mean, Andrew Bogut displayed clear Princess Peach. Princess Peach. He was very soft.
Anymore, is he?
He's not there anymore, so we'll have to find maybe it'll be Verajao. He flops.
Yeah, he does.
He gets taken all the time, I'll say, like a Princess Peach. Can I say please?
Anderson, I do not want you to get upset with us. This is all.
Really, think about it. What would he do? All he would do is shake his hair around. You'd try to punch at him. He would flop. He would be the person that would oversell the finger poke of doom.
Oh gosh.
Freaking Earl Hebner, ring the bell. Ring
No, he didn't go there. I'm totally fine with that as long as Andrew Bogut doesn't talk about his vibe sector. Moving on.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry. Princess Peach had herself her own video game where she used an ability called the Vibe Sector that controls her emotions, and those emotions granted different powers. Look it up. It's a fact. You just got learned again.
It's like the 5 moves of death.
5 moves of doom.
Same thing. Same thing. But speaking of the five moves of doom or death, however you want to say it, there was a little bit of WWE action, a little WWE news, including the return of Goldberg, Goldberg, Goldberg.
I'm not gonna lie, your Goldberg chant was kind of shaky.
It's because my voice
It
is
was like
under
a it was
Doc.
like an old man.
It's because I'm Doc Ocean right now.
Oh yeah, you are Doc
I
Ocean.
can't help it. This is the most excitement I could actually give. But this also is a direct correlation with what you said. I think you might have said it was a mediocre entrance.
It was terrible.
It was like the whole WWE was backstage clapping for somebody that was coming to save them from mediocrity.
Or coming to say goodbye, like they usually do, because that's what they do whenever someone quit or gets fired, and it's how to publicly show them leaving the arena. Everyone stands around and they start clapping.
But why would he come out and say, "You're not just next, you're last"? Like, why even wrestle anymore if this is going to be it?
Exactly. Oh,
Like,
once again, it's just like WrestleMania 20 all over again. It's a big middle finger to the wrestling business and the fans. And this is why the fans act like this.
somebody did write the first match wasn't that great, and now you have a Goldberg who only does suplexes, and a 49-year-old Goldberg
You just said Goldberg who only do suplexes.
You have to excuse me again. I meant Brock Lesnar, who only does suplexes. Maybe Goldberg will take Brock Lesnar to Suplex City.
Oh, we don't need suplexes the entire freaking match. Stop.
I think that would be interesting to see Brock Lesnar take those bumps.
Vince, if you let this happen, I will come up to you, shake your hand, ask you what your name is, and sweetkin the
Hey, you buddy, what's your
living
name?
out of you.
Vince.
I'm Vince McMahon. I'm sexy. Vince McMahon. Wow, I'm sexy now.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's going to be a interesting match. I'm interested to see what kind of shape Goldberg wrestles in. He's obviously going to have to get into some serious shape. Obviously, he's been, working out, but the Royal Rumble, which I believe is going to be in
San
Texas,
Antonio, yes.
Which I've also heard that there might be some returns of some Texas wrestlers. I don't know if you've heard this grumbling and this information in your ear there, but there might be
I'm hearing a lot of stuff in my ears, and a lot of it's groaning.
There might be a Heartbreak Kid.
Oh.
Yeah. I've heard anything as crazy as there might be a Rattlesnake appearance.
Yo. See, here's the problem. The issue is you cannot advance and you cannot build these newer stars if you're doing the same things from yesteryear. If you keep bringing back all these attitude and ruthless aggression stars for the publicity, which once again is a great business move, but it impedes the process of all these younger cats. That was the issue when John Cena reigned supreme over the land.
So, I mean, let me ask you this then.
You can ask whatever you want, sir.
What in the world is the point of your man, AJ Styles, who does your favorite move, the Styles Clash?
We already established this, that it is your favorite move. We have the tapes for it.
Yeah, everybody will hear it. They can just go back and they can hear it. Why is he fighting and have fought James Ellsworth on live TV?
Twice. And lost.
What's the point of that? Why we might as well just bring Terry Funk back out.
It's funny, someone talked about James Ellsworth being the brand new 1-2-3 kid.
Oh my god. They really love him. Why do they love him so much?
It's marks. That's what it is. It's people, and for those who don't know what marks are, those are people who like to pretend that they're smart, but they're really trolling around. And WWE is just trying to... They're jumping and gaping at shorts for every single opportunity. To be honest with you, they're trying to sabotage SmackDown because of how well SmackDown is doing compared to Raw.
It's actually so stupid.
And you see, Sean Nice actually just wrote, "No one wants to see the new stars," and I completely agree. Once again, we had this discussion on many weeks.
Oh, whoa. No one wants to see the new stars.
No one wants to see the new stars. And I don't think she means like the people, because, we're the people. We're the voice of the people here on Debates Among Friends, brought to you by Stella.
They want to see the old people?
We don't want to see the old people anymore. I mean, for goodness sake, Undertaker was found with pictures standing in crutches. And we all know that he's going to freaking wrestle at WrestleMania.
I mean, what the heck?
Exactly.
What in the world? I mean, we don't want to see John Cena anymore. WTF? I mean, we don't want to see John Cena anymore. Clearly, I'm hoping to never see Kane again. Last week was enough.
Nope. He showed up this week too.
I didn't even watch it because if he shows up again, I don't want to see it. I was very happy to see a report that suggests that he might be retiring and going into politics with his wife. Very happy about that. As well as some other retirements. I didn't know about the people that were thinking about coming back, because that's another one of those articles where I saw Stone Cold and Shawn Michaels might be coming back.
That's terrible. That's terrible.
But I feel like, I don't know, since Triple H has left the TV spotlight, there hasn't been as much movement from NXT. I don't know if he's taken a break or whatever he's doing, but there hasn't been as much movement from NXT to the WWE.
Well,
main roster.
They have to recover because all the big talent that they had in NXT, they had to bring over. I mean, when you think about it, they had literally people who didn't even really need to be in NXT. Finn Balor should have been brought straight to the main roster. But he was there to help promote NXT, and it grown to basically be better than the main roster. And it just caused a huge battle between.
I agree, and I just think that it's one of those situations where Vince, and I think you mentioned this before, Vince is going with people that he trusts. I mean, but
Shawn Michaels also says that they're not entertaining anymore.
The older people?
Yeah. Well, she said they need better stars. I kind of disagree because, like, you hear my praise about Kevin Owens.
Right.
Like, he's legitimately the second best heel in the company. Unfortunately, that first one goes to The Miz. I mean, The Miz.
Yeah, The Miz is dominating.
I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, he's doing a great job.
But, like, Sami Zayn, he's in limbo because they're not giving him anything to do. Now he's going to feud against freaking Strowman? Are you kidding me?
See, I'm not really a big fan of Sami Zayn. I've told you this several times. Even watching some of his indie stuff, like, yeah, he does some crazy things, but a lot of people do crazy things in the wrestling. Yeah, exactly. Brainbuster was really big in the 90s and the early 2000s. To me, at least, the people who did Brainbuster.
We're not talking about the Brainbuster. We're talking about the Brainbuster on the turnbuckle.
It's basically practically the same thing.
I know.
It's just more dangerous, makes you look better. Never gonna see it in the WWE. Surprised that they're letting Seth Rollins do these turnbuckle and barricade powerbomb thingies.
Bret Hart doesn't like that at all. And yes, I went there.
You did. I mean, but I don't know. As far as they're not entertaining anymore,
I blame the writers.
It just depends on the writers. Creative is just not doing the best job they could do.
I mean, unfortunately, your boy Dean Ambrose started doing that wacky tongue thing now.
I've always hated that. But you said he's going to be on his way out soon to go on to make a movie or something.
Yeah, he's going to be doing 12 rounds, but it's insane because for a while they kept making him read scripts, but then you can tell whether or not he's reading a script or he's going off the hip. And when he's just shooting, the content is so much better. Have you seen what I was talking about?
Mm-hmm.
It was before the triple threat match, which was the main event. but then turned into the first match, but they still called it the main event sort of thing. So WTF on that.
Honestly, the only thing I'm hoping to see, which I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but I would love to see The Miz get propelled into this heavyweight title run against AJ Styles. I think he's deserved it.
Why?
He's deserved it.
Why?
Who else are you going to put there?
Anyone else, to be honest with you. I mean, him and...
You want John Cena? You want John Cena back in there?
No.
Give me somebody.
To be honest,
you want Sami Zayn in there? Sami
Zayn, is he even on SmackDown?
It doesn't even matter. Do you want somebody like Sami Zayn in there? Like, who else would you want on there? They have no one. Hey, there's no possible way that Shinsuke Nakamura is going to come up.
It's not going to be Shinsuke. But I know who's going to be the next call-up.
Who is it?
Samoa Joe will be the next call-up.
The next what?
The next call-up to the main roster.
I'm talking about to fight AJ Styles. You think Samoa Joe is going to be called up to the main roster and get a heavyweight title shot?
Professor got reads.
Wow. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous, Professor.
See, you say that.
You said some crazy things in your time. But
have I been right? Have I been right?
I don't know about this one. Shinsuke, maybe.
He's going through the patterns.
No, he's not.
He is. He lost the title.
He lost it. He's probably going to win it back, and they're probably going to push Shinsuke.
They're doing a rematch.
He's going to win it.
And whether or not he win or lose it, he's going to get one more opportunity if he loses it. And
then
he's going to be called up.
He's going to win it. Shinsuke is going to be called up, sent to SmackDown. I see him challenging AJ Styles before I see Samoa Joe. Joe doesn't have the power. I just don't actually. But who on the main roster right now could you see stepping in, except for James Ellsworth?
Oh gosh, I would never say that. Stop it. Hashtag Dr. Plus.
To challenge AJ Styles for the World Championship.
Honestly, I don't see anyone.
And
it speaks on, how thin the roster is and how badly they've been booked for a long time.
But that's the thing, the roster isn't thin, and that's where it gets to be kind of ridiculous. But I know we're running out of time, though, so I don't want to keep talking about that piss at AJ Styles. I know you got some final remarks, sir.
Yes, give your thoughts and prayers out to underground hip-hop star Richie Branson. He was diagnosed with cancer today. Just keep him in your thoughts and prayers.
Absolutely, and we definitely want to keep that into prayers. What a crazy turn of events to post. I saw your post earlier on Facebook saying that, he actually said a year ago when he got a haircut, wow, I look like a cancer patient, which is just absolutely crazy to say.
Yes.
But, then come out, hey, I have cancer. You know what I mean? Like, it's just really upsetting. And, of course, our prayers do go out to him, of course, and his family. But we are running out of time here, and we want to make sure we get into this track here, which I thought was absolutely great. Professor, if you can introduce this track so we can let the people enjoy the rest of their evening.
Absolutely. It's from an artist named Thomas Prime. It is from his newest album, Cult Classic Records, Friends and Family 4. The track is called Eyes Closed, featuring Vessel, Windshield, and Apollo Sun. And we're going to leave you off with this. We'll catch you again next week. I am Professor John Gotti.
And I'm Doc Ocean.
And we'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Peace and love.
Roll the credits.
Trying to keep it together, but it's hard like old Velcro. Papa's locked up again, but Mama's doing well though. I hope I make it to heaven, but who the hell knows? Why is it so hard to feel alive when you're dead broke? Still sipping from a poison well, finding new ways to destroy myself. Chasing goals till the soles of my shoes gone. You left me hanging, guess I never took the noose off. I see better with life, unicycling a tightrope, hustling by taking my time as I got slow. Never had a ghost riding on me for a rhyme coach. Down to my last sleep with high hopes. Watched it run free, too afraid to take my chains off. They sing along cause it's all just the same song. My family tree was mutilated with chainsaws. Life sucks, stand on your own till it stays strong. And thank God. Cause most of y'all not holding it right, biting down on my mouthpiece, trying to right my wrongs. As I write this song, the words appear. You can't touch what you can't see, or be what you can't dream. The closer I look in the mirror, damn, is that me? With the gray hairs and tears on my cheek, I just hope that I can make it to the end of the week. Heartbreaking, staying strong for my son, and just like that, blessed with another one. Yo, why in the world do I deserve this? Deserve another sign, can't help but feel nervous. Look into their eyes, can't help but feel purpose. All this hard work, they make it all worth it. Instead of feeling worthless, I drop verses. Always ask why and